Hello everybody, are we alive? It appears so, quite possibly. But welcome to another Sunday D&D session with Evil and friends. No Drax, not Drax, bloody hell, no Uth this evening, or Trash. We have half of Drax's face as usual, but that is not unusual for us there. But anywho, another week has gone by for the D&D. So now we've got no face. That's better. I think you went the wrong way. There we go. Oh, now it's too far the other side. I give up. But this is where we're at. So no Trash. He's got some stuff going on at home, so he is not available tonight and may not be available for Wednesday either at this point. I'm not sure. He hasn't got back to me yet. But if he is not available Wednesday, we may postpone Wednesday's game because it's only a four-person sort of team. So without him there, it might be a little weird. So we'll see how we go. I'll talk to the other players moving forward and see what everyone feels there. We could go ahead without him as well because Xanxus doesn't really say a whole lot, and he's a sorcerer, so he can hang to the back, and we could probably deal with that anyway. But we'll see how we go. Wait to hear back from Trash, and we'll go from there. But Thursdays, we brought back Pew Pew Thursday this week, and it went really well. We had was it Treyhawk come and join me, and Mr. Grimm come and join me in playing the dirty old fork knives, which I swore I'd never do on stream, funnily enough. But hey, it's times change. I got old. Okay, sue me. Couple of new resubs there, 31 months and 22 months respectively. Mina and Grim, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it very, very much with the resub. So, without any further ado, we should get into tonight's session, as we'll probably be cutting off pretty much trying to bang on 10 or just after 10, because I know Baz has got a really early start and a travel tomorrow, so we'll definitely try and get us done as around that time. So, recap from last week's session. Last we left off, you had all been confined to the keep after Tolvier and Uth had disgraced themselves a little bit with some actions and were punished. So the whole squad was punished in due course by being confined to keep while they healed. Thank you for the resub, Drax. Appreciate it. 33 months. And from there, you were eventually given your next assignment from Sergeant Stormhammer. It appears that a town of Styron to the north towards Gatton has been attacked and besieged by a clan of harpies, it seems. A rather nasty beast. Many people despise the harpy, and a little bit of research was done on Dilly's behalf, sitting to the library, and discovered that they are quite vicious. They have a siren type song which turns men / people into mush and has them not themselves. Preparing for that particular eventuality, you organize your gear. You get some rope, you get some nets, bowlers, wax for your ears to try and combat this particular situation. And then you set out. You head north along the main trade route that leads from Valon to Gatton. Nothing really eventuating, as it is a regular day here in Paradym. The road is well traveled by other soldiers and by tradesmen and just general people alike. Uth seems a little nervous, more than usual, and way less chatty than he usually is, which piqued a few people's interest in the group. Eventually, Tolvier gives the order to set up camp as the night starts to draw in, the sun starts to set. You set camp, and during the evening, discussions were had, watches were organized. During the night, it seems Dilly and Uth had a little bit of a conversation where Uth presented Dilly with the letter that he'd received while at the keep. reading the letter, Dilly discovered Uth's little secret that he'd been keeping for some time since joining the militia, and more or less said that you were there to help. Uth has requested that you keep it to yourself for the time being until he can get his head around it a little bit more. As you go to break down your camp, however, Uth returns to his tent, and in his tent he finds a green sash, which he knows all too well. Looking behind him, he packs his bag quickly as to not let everyone else know that what he has found and discovered. He wants to keep it to himself at this point. And you start to break down your camp. And this is pretty much where we rejoin you now, as you break down the camp that you've set this evening. Let's zoom in here a bit. Okay, why do we have 2 tall bears on there? I just realized that one did not be a tall bear. That one should be a Various. I was playing around with some stuff, so give me a second. Done. Sorry, Various. Now you should be able to see. So, as I said, you have broken down your camp. You're getting ready to break down camp, your tents. Oath has discovered his stuff he's packed up, and he's come out of his tent and is just preparing to get ready. So I'll turn it over to you guys now as the start of the new day. So, Corporal, the squad is yours. It is the new day. You can organise them, get them what you need them to do.
I was told we would get up and have breakfast and everything, and sort of have them. All right, let's get packed up and get on a move. Still in my tent, but I can't get out because the game's paused.
Lies. You're lying. You're lying. Why is my sound not working? The fuck?
Alright, pack up the tents and extinguish the fire, and Varus, you want to get the horses and make sure they're fed and everything?
Yes, Corporal. Is anyone else surprised that we didn't get, like, people trying to brutally murder us in the night? I was kind of getting used to that, like, not in a good way, but...
Well, they took all their money last time, so they probably know we don't have any.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that one's
some
working.
more action. Varys.
Oh, me? No, not really. It just... I just thought maybe that's how things were here. People die in the Feywild, don't get me wrong, like, but not usually brutally attacked in the middle of the night. My Uncle Jake, he died in a puddle of his own vomit. You know, general everyday stuff, old age, things like that there. One Satar stubbed his hoof and he got an infection, and, you know, it took months, but he finally carked it because they didn't know what to do for him. But, you know, not usually stabbed or bashed to death by other people. Not that I remember.
Most people where I came from got stabbed or bashed to death, so...
I feel like I'm in a kind of in-between of you two. You know, if you get where I'm going with that.
So like 50% bashing and stabbing and 50% old age and puke. Yeah.
The puke can happen more often. Never mind. Ovi, are we clear around the area?
Affirmative. Everything seems clear. LV will double check.
Thank you, LV.
So LV. Let's get an early morning perception check from you, sir. 14. It appears, LV, as you do a scan of the area, you don't see anything, but you do hear noise coming from this direction.
I'm hearing some audible noise to the northeast.
I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's close by, and it's could be animal. Not entirely sure.
This unit is unclear what it is.
Dilly's gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay, before we do that, let's go. Need to roll this first. And ooh, okay. So you cast Detect Magic, Dilly. You release the spell. It's at 60-foot radius around you. You start. You pick up on anything magic in nature. The moment you summon that magic, the instant you summon it and release it, you feel extremely uncomfortable. Like really, really uncomfortable. And then almost like in an instant, a puff of butterflies appear within sort of 10 feet of you, and flower petals, like almost like in a mini explosion of, and sort of just start to flutter around, and every step you move, they move with you. And that is what you see right now. You don't see any other magical things, but also too, the moment you summon the arcane energy and release it, you hear something growl from the trees, and it rushes forward through the trees, seeming to be charging at you, LV.
Enemy sighted.
Now, for those of you that remember your training, LV would not have been there. LV, you've never seen any creature like this before. But for those of you that remember your first day out training with Sergeant Stormhammer, you recognize this creature. The prehistoric looking creature, no discernible eyes, tooth maw, scaled leathery skin almost, starts charging forward. And Dilly, I would say that your heart sinks almost immediately as soon as you see it, knowing full well what it is capable of and what it tracks. I will get everyone to roll initiative, please. Waiting on Uth and Dilly. Uth, that's right, I'm Uth. Okay.
Hurry up, Booth.
Dilly, what did you roll?
Dilly got a 6, only because I can't remember how to get my sheet up on Foundry.
You don't have to roll it from the sheet, you can roll it directly from the combat tracker if you want. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a dice on the
I'll
combat
do that next
tracker.
time. But it was 6.
6, no worries. I can set your initiative. 2, 6. Too easy. So with that, Varys, it is your turn first. as this creature crashes out from the trees and makes a beeline towards the camp. As I said, seemingly heading right for LV at this point.
I guess I spoke to... Oh, fuck. And then he's gonna move over to here. And then he's gonna probably fill his trousers a little bit. He's gonna try and take a shot at it with his bow, because he would remember his training. He's like, and I don't think he has anything particularly good that would...
Not a problem.
Just gonna try and shoot him.
No worries. Misses, unfortunately, with a 13.
Bang.
As you draw your bow, like I say, your nervous anxiety takes over and you're shaking. You draw, close your eyes and let it go. Probably not a good thing, as you go slightly wide and disappears behind him.
Yep. And then he's just gonna back up a little behind the tent in the hopes that maybe he didn't even notice, you know? And that'll be my turn.
That is your turn. It's Uth's turn. Uth, sort of almost a little bit preoccupied, looks up and looks around, thinks, oh, shit. And he also moves into a wide sort of position. And he will attack with his crossbow at this range and fires. I think he also misses with an 11. Seems to be preoccupied. Does he get 2 attacks or 1? I think it's still only 1. Double check here. Nope, still only gets 1 attack at this point. Action Surge Fighter, Second Wind, the Wielder. Nope, still only 1. So that is his turn. LV, you're up.
Remind me, how do I target again?
Alt click, sir.
Oh, I'm pressing Control and Shift. Of course, it's Alt. Right. LV is going to move back a little. He's going to make his shot at this creature with his Auto 9 crossbow. Folds out of his legs, one of his legs. He aims it forth. He makes the shot. And then roll bugger. With a 12 to hit.
12 to hit, misses, unfortunately.
I believe, let me just double check here. Where's my character sheet at?
Is there anything else that
That creature hasn't had a turn in combat, has it?
has not? So you will
Therefore,
get advantage.
I get advantage, so I'm going to try
And
that
I
again.
believe it's an auto crit also.
It is if I hit. Sorry, people just remembering the game. Oh, never mind.
No, it misses, unfortunately. Even with that, LV, your aiming modules are slightly out, slightly off. And you do miss. Is that your turn?
LV, we'll just move back 2 more
What
spaces.
is up with my bad or music?
That is it for LV.
Is it for LV? No worries. I think that one is no longer working for some reason. Alright, that is it for LV. Sorry, working through some technological difficulties here. As it stands, it is now this creature's turn. I just need to remember what his movement is. It once again lets out a sort of a growl and a screech off the end of it, which goes extremely high pitch to the point where it sort of starts to pitch up and then almost like it stops instantly. And he moves very quickly in a straight line right into this tent and through it, destroying the tent. Right up to you, Dilly, as it has sensed your arcane nature and has come directly to you. And it is going to make one claw attack at you. For a 21, which I believe will hit. Dilly, you take 7 points of slashing damage as it large claws just rake across your shoulder and upper torso. I will add that to your token on the screen as well so I can keep track of it. But it hurt a lot. Dilly is not looking good. There's a couple of really large wounds that have now been opened up across her body. She cries out in pain. That is the creature's turn. That will be now your turn, Dilly.
Well, shit. Okay. Dilly is going to cast Shadow, which is a 2nd level spell.
Okay.
And it's going to do a con save. So...
let me just have a quick nosy here. So Shadow.
Yep. Shatter.
Oh, Shatter, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, Shatter.
Con save of 12. So I just click on it to target.
Hang on a second. It's got a range on it. No, it doesn't matter. Cool. Just making sure it's not a ranged spell. Con save. Oh, yeah. So click if you wanting on Foundry. So Alt click on it on the token. Should target it.
There we go.
And then you hit the on your sheet. You hit the hover over the image of the spell, and then just click that.
So I can't see the spell. So
It should
action.
Be. Yeah.
Oh,
you're
yep.
on your HUD. Yeah. So if you go to
Yep,
find
sorry,
the spell,
I was
and
looking.
then
There we go.
and then just click on it, and it should roll it.
Okay. Did I roll it?
Yep. It should give us. Hang on, let me bring my HUD up.
Yep.
There we go. So that rolls the damage, and then it gives me a chance to save. So he's going to now make the save, which is a 17. So he does save, but I believe he still takes half damage.
So Shadow is half damage.
Yep. So he'll take 4 points of damage.
As my bonus action, because I've cast a spell, I get no opportunity of attack. I will fly back 9 feet because I'm up 1 foot and back 9 feet.
Yes, your little doofy thing for you.
Which puts me here. I think.
What is that called again?
It's
I know what it is. I just can't remember what it's called. Gnome? Is it Gnome Cunning?
No, not Gnome Cunning. It's part of my sorcery class.
Okay. When you find it,
bonus actions.
Yeah, just when you find it, let me know what it is, because I forget, because I'm old and I forget stuff.
Yep.
It's part of your bonus actions. Okay, so ooh. Yes, tempestuous magic. Tempestuous magic.
Yeah,
So as a bonus action, you can cause gusts of wind surround you before and after you cast a spell. Allows you to fly up to 10 feet away without provoking opportunity attacks. Brilliant.
Which is well done.
And our battle music has stopped again for some reason. So good, we've got it there. So it has saved. It's taken half damage, and you've moved back without the opportunity attack. No drama.
And as I'm flying back, kill it or tie it up or something, please.
And that is your turn. Let me just double check something here. Okay, no, we're good there. Okay. Tolvera, it is now your turn.
Alright, Tolvia is going to move directly in front of it, so directly between us and Dilly.
Yep.
And he's going to recklessly attack with his axe.
No worries, that'll give you advantage on the attack.
Yes, I just have to figure out where my axe is.
So if you're rolling with advantage, you hold Alt down before you click it, and that should give the advantage. There we go. You miss even with the advantage, unfortunately. This thing's just a little quick for you. Dodges to one side as you raise your axe.
As a bonus action, I'm going to attempt to bite it, which,
yep,
with my thing, I can do it. I just don't get the
you just don't get the modifier. Yep.
And I'm going to miss as well.
You miss again as well. It's just seems to be moving too quickly. Is that your turn, good sir?
That's effectively what I want to do.
No worries.
Well, no, it's not what I want to do at all, but
that's all you can do, unfortunately.
No, I can.
Back to the top of the round.
Varius puts his bow back over his shoulder and he's panicking a bit. He grabs his swords out. It's like, magic attracts magic. And I've got to do something because Dilly's magic. And fuck Fey magic. I know some Fey magic. And he's going to cast Zephyr Strike.
Ooh, Zephyr Strike. And because of the what I rolled before, we need to make a quick roll here as well as you cast Zephyr Strike on yourself.
Oh, it does the attack anyway. That's a bit stupid. Anyway.
Yes, it does, but we can. You've still got to roll. Yes, you can roll your regular attack. Oh no, it attacks anyway. Well, that's random.
Yeah, which is not how it describes it in the spell.
Ignore that. We'll keep the
adds
damage.
Adds damage to an attack.
Yeah, we'll keep the damage.
Yeah.
You'll roll your attacks as normal. We'll just ignore that.
And
but
then he's gonna...
before that happens, as you cast the spell upon yourself, you and all within 20 feet of you must make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
So that's Uth.
Loves a good con save.
That's the Doc Noche as well. Everyone else is close. You, Uth, and the creature needs to make a con save.
Annoying.
Constitution save. A 3, a 6 for him. For Uth. This is not looking good, guys. Just so you know. Ability check. Oh, no, that was a save, not ability check. God damn it. That was my bad. Both saves, so we're good. So, Varius and the creature, unfortunately, according to this wild magic thing, let's see. No resistances to it there. You are both now asleep. So technically, you're falling into a magical sleep. So Varius, almost instantly after casting Zephyr Strike on yourself, which will remain, so that remains on you, so you keep note of that for your next attack.
Is it a magic?
It is a wild magic effect, so I would say...
Because I have advantage against spells and other magical effects.
Roll again, another con save for me, because I'd say it would be a magical effect.
Come on. Nay.
And you meet the DC, exactly. So
I imagine I start yawning, and then I'm like...
Yeah, definitely. So I don't think we have a sleep thing here, but so I'm going to put him as being stunned, which is pretty much the same thing. So what that should do, hopefully, is give you guys advantage. I don't know why my combat utility belt is not listing the way it should be. I should have double checked all this. Oh, it's because it's not fucking working. God damn. Enhanced conditions. Give me a second, guys. I should have double checked this. Been working on the other one. I just need to reload, so you guys might need to as well.
Nice.
Although it may reload on its own, I'm not sure. Technological difficulties that we have in D&D. Oh, it's still not listing it. Fuck. Okay, never mind. I know what I'm doing. So, as with a creature being stunned, you get advantage on the attacks anyway.
All right. So shrugging off the sleep he nearly caused himself.
None of it's working.
I will.
Oh no, it is still working. So the effects are still working. Cool. So you should automatically give you the advantages when you roll naturally, if there is any.
All right.
Hopefully,
so
we'll find out.
He'll sort of hesitate a bit and then stab down, like seeing it's asleep, and then wondering if he should just leave it, and then he's just gonna stab it because he saw how much it took out of Dilly.
Yes, you
Hey,
automatically
it did.
Yep, you automatically get it. Awesome. So the conditions are
20.
working. 20 does hit, and
Natural 20.
Natural 20. So 10 points of slashing damage. You can roll your extra with your Zephyr Strike, which I think was 4. So I'll take that as well.
Yeah, that's force damage if it makes any difference, which it probably doesn't.
But he definitely takes the damage. So you've opened up a pretty sizable wound, but it doesn't seem to have phased it too much.
Yeah, and then I will, with the extra movement I'm granted, I will run away. Brave Sir Robert.
And it does not get an opportunity attack because it is currently asleep.
And it wouldn't, because that's part of Zephyr Strike.
And that as well.
Cool. That's my turn.
It is your turn. It is now Uth's turn. So Uth is going to take a leaf out of your book, seeing that it is now incapacitated. Rolls up, targets it, and he will take out his, will summon his sonic blades, which I believe are his rapier. Hang on, where is it? Features. He's just going to strike it with his rapier, I think. Keep it nice and simple. He gets advantage on, but still misses. He's not having his mind is completely elsewhere at this point. Unfortunately, he is not going to do anything else at this point in time. That is, he will offhand attack. Actually, got 2 weapon fighting, so he will make his bonus action attack with his offhand. It just will not do the off. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He misses anyway. Poor Uth is screwed up. So that is his turn. LV, you're up.
Sweet. You said that tent was destroyed, right?
That tent is destroyed, so that is, I can actually remove the visual here, so you can now, you should be able to see everything.
Sweet. So Elvy's going to run at this said creature. And as he's moving towards it, he's going to replace his mini crossbow back into the leg holster, and his hooks are going to flick out of his forearms, and he's just going to run at it, leap into the air, and dive down on top of it. Same thing as what Uth did, basically. He's going to stab with one arm and then with his offhand, stab with the other. Once I get my character sheet up here.
I mean, Chase, if you want to join us, man, you can join us.
God, the low rolls today.
Low rolls, a lot of low rolls. Another miss.
That was his first strike and his bonus action with the second blade.
Oh, good. So let me know about Wednesday night too, dude. 23, that definitely hits.
That was a natural 20 as well.
Nat 20, nice.
It's a little better. All right, so
roll your damage, and we'll maximize your weapon damage.
Sweet. So normally they are. I can't even see. So that's 8 plus. It's normally a D4 plus 1, so 5 plus 8.
5 plus 8. Cool. Too easy. Done. The creature is now looking bloody as you open up an even larger wound across one side, and it.
Oh, and I had
growls
advantage,
as well.
so I will get sneak attack as well.
You
right?
will indeed.
2d6. Wham wham. So as LV leaps down on top of it, he just stabs, hits the ground with his first stab, and then tries for the stomach area, seeing if there's anything soft there. Total of 4 for the.
Definitely soft belly area there, and you bury your hook blades deep to the hilt.
Just an extra 4 on that sneak attack. Thank you,
No
and that's it
worries.
for LV.
Done. That is LV's turn. This creature is now needing to make a save to try and break this sleep. It does not. It is still unconscious or asleep, snoring, unable to move. Dilly, it is now your turn. Toby, you're on board.
Dilly's going to do what everyone else has done. She's grabbed behind her back and grabbed her 2 daggers out.
Go
and
for
she's
it.
gonna stab with the daggers. Okay, they're gonna work out how to do it. So just the dagger.
Yep, so same
Cool.
thing, you alt click to target the token, and then just click on the image of the dagger, or on your HUD, select the dagger, click it, and it'll roll it. Done, double 10s. 12 still misses, however.
Okay.
Dilly's a little nervous,
Bonus.
it seems, about this creature taking a big chunk out of her. Not feeling too good.
Alright. So I just roll again.
Yes, you could roll an offhand attack with your dagger, but you do not add the modifier. Which it'll do it
Alright.
automatically, but I can take it off. So
Okay, cool.
this one hits. Does 1 piercing damage. All the damage
And
counts.
then Dilly. And then Dilly's going to, because that's 10, and I think she's got. And she'll go back another 5. She's not getting too close to that thing. So that's her full movement. In, stab, out. And as she's running away, tie it up in case it wakes up.
With that is your turn. Tolvir, it is now your turn.
Tolby is going to go into his bag, and he's going to pull out his shackles, which he still have.
Yep,
And he's going to shackle its feet together.
easily enough done.
And as my action, I'm going to grapple it, like basically put its head into a headlock.
It will,
That's fine.
it will automatically, don't need to even roll for it. It automatically fails its strength save because it is essentially incapacitated. So
Yep.
easily enough done.
Is effectively stick its head into a headlock so that its mouth is held shut,
Okay,
so it cannot bite anyone.
no problem.
And
So that would be pretty much your whole turn. I
that's
would
my whole
imagine.
turn. Sweet. That's
Yeah,
it.
to shackle it and then grapple it, definitely. Yeah, that would be pretty much it. So for all intents and purposes, you have this thing restrained, and do you say or do anything else at this point?
So, if you can see me, finish the bastard.
Varys, it's now your turn.
Corporal's orders. Gotta do it. And he sort of like pushes his hooves down and he runs forward, and then he just comes in with both hands, and he will use both hands even if it dies, because he's used his offhand as well. So one short sword in.
Which hits. 5 points of slashing damage.
6.
6, sorry. I was reading that wrong,
Yep.
but it's still up. It's looking
All
rough, but it's still breathing.
And then he's offhand with 2 weapon fighting.
Hits.
For 4.
It's not looking good at all. Its breathing is belayed and starting to get that little bit of a death rattle going on.
Yeah, there's a little look of relief on his face that it's not dead, but yeah, that'll be my turn.
It'll be your turn. It is now Uth's turn, who sees like he's seen that you're struggling a little bit, and so he targets the creature, and he will. Attack it with his rapier as well, which he does so for a 19 to hit and does maximum amount of damage. He looks up at you, Tolvir. He looks at you, Various, and just plunges his rapier into the base of the neck of this creature, and you hear that last breath exhale as he does so, as its eyes, if it had any, would roll back. It doesn't, but you hear that sort of death rattle exhale, and it goes limp in your arms, Tolby. And that, ladies and germs, will be the end of our combat. So in the chat, what I will get you to do is just click on add
Sweet.
for the XP, or to add it to your sheet, and you can mark it on your D&D Beyond sheets if you want as well, just later on, but that'll automatically assign you XP. And I don't know why my music is not traveling like it should. I'm gonna have to redo all my music, I think, but that's good. I can do that at some point. But anywho, that is the end of the combat at this point. Don't forget to detarget the creature just by alt-clicking it again. I do need to fix that. It should have done it automatically. I'll have to go through some of these settings. But for all intents and purposes, we're there. Uth sort of steps backward, removes his rapier, sort of looks around, grabs a rag and wipes the blade, and then returns to packing up his things.
Passive mode active. Targeting systems inaccurate.
Good kill, Uth. Dilly, you okay? Looking over your shoulder.
May need someone to patch up. And she just falls to the floor. And she looks very angry and cross. And
Varus.
I don't.
Sorry.
Oh, and she'd be looking in her bag to see if she's got any potions or something that she'd rather be patched than at the moment.
Varus, go tend to Dilly.
Yep. Yes. Corporal.
So you all have an advantage from trash too, by the way. And I'll allow it just this once, trash, because you're not in game, but as a player, technically you're not allowed to do it.
Trash breaking the rules even when he's not around.
But
so
it has to be used during the session too, guys.
Yeah. So Various will grab his healer's kit out and start.
Roll a medicine check for me.
I will. And I will use my advantage on it, so it's used.
Cool. 16. Easily enough done. You take out your healer's kit. I'm hearing myself through your speakers, Drax. Thank you. You take out your healer's kit and you grab a bandage and you start wrapping her wounds. So she's no longer bleeding out. Dilly, I will give you, because of the success of the medicine check, I will give you 2 points of healing back. I will mark it on your sheet here, and if you want to mark it on your D&D Beyond sheet, it's up to you. But you will get 2 HP back. Oops, I healed you fully. That was bad. So you're actually on 8, I believe.
9.
9. I knew it was something like that. So you were on 9. You're feeling better. Not much, but the wound the wound has been bandaged, so it's no longer bleeding out. So you're less likely to get infection and stuff like that. But it still hurts a lot. You looking at the wound and how wide and deep it is, you do see. And you would probably know, actually, Barry should probably know too with that medicine check, that even though it doesn't look like the creature was poisonous, like had a poison strike, there was definitely something not quite right about the wound. There was a bit of a smell to it. And as you sort of turn and look at the creature, Tolvir, the rest of you standing around it would notice this now. As the creature's mouth lolls open, its tongue lolls to one side, you can smell a really venomous bile smell coming from its jaw. So you get the impression that it's possibly holds some sort of venom, not with its claw, but definitely with its bite. So you were probably very lucky that it didn't bite you.
I should have remembered. Should we get going, Corporal?
Alright, we'll finish packing up. We'll see what we can salvage from this tent. It's going to drag the thing off it.
Yeah.
I think that was actually Dilly's tent, to be honest.
I think it was too. It's pretty well shredded. Like it went through it, mouth open. There's not a whole lot left.
P1C Dilly may have my tent. I do not use it.
Appreciate that, LV. I'm going to have a look to make sure that whatever, like, if I left anything in there that I haven't left it, make sure everything's okay. Tent, it's just the tent that is destroyed.
It was just a tent. Your items were scattered but not destroyed.
Tolby is going to recover his shackles from its feet, and then with his axe he's going to remove its head.
No worries.
Assuming that there isn't some sort of obvious toxic coming out of its head, he's going to bag the head.
Roll a survival check for me. Give me 1 second, I'll be able to bring that up for you.
Corporal, is it normal to keep trophies?
Where I come from, yes, but the fact that these things don't usually come out in the sun is very rare.
Okay, so evidence. LV, can you suffer from poison damage? Will it break your circuits or anything like that?
LV, system search. LV is resistant to this type of material.
For safety's sake, maybe? Since we're keeping it as evidence for the magical society to look and all that stuff, I'm guessing is why you're keeping it. Please say that is, please.
Well, I'm not going to eat it because these things taste terrible.
You would assume.
I'd assume, but
I would say that Tolby's probably never eaten one of these particular creatures because they're relatively new to the realm.
Was
Remo-
when we first saw one, you said that I'd seen them before where I lived.
I doubt you would have eaten one though.
But I wouldn't have eaten one, and I'm sure shit wouldn't have got close to them.
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah, you probably may have seen them, but I doubt. Would have ignored you because you're not a magic user. So you probably would have had no reason to have any dealings with them, I would say. But you never know. I mean, we'll make a check. Roll a d6. 1 to 3, you've eaten one. 4 to 6, you haven't. Okay, you've eaten one.
Okay.
But it tasted terrible, and it gave you a really, really, really upset stomach. So it's definitely poisonous. Easy way to solve it, roll a dice.
Yeah.
It's canon now, you ate one.
Remind me when we get back to the keep about you and I having a discussion about you writing a cookbook.
I actually have a cookbook back at my home. I didn't write it, but
Private Dilly, I feel like maybe you're not fully healed, and I have a healing potion. I can do healing magic too, but maybe that's not a great idea.
I've got some in my bag. Various. I'll take it once we're further away from this area. I feel like this area is a bit, more likely to have these thick creatures. Let's not have any magic going on until we leave.
I mean, at least it waited until we were awake and it was daylight. It's a win.
it's obviously a very kind creature.
With advantage, please, Dilly. The check in the chat.
Gosh. Yep. And I forgot to click on it. Doesn't matter anyway,
doesn't
does it?
matter. Natural 20. So yes, you, with your casting of the 2 arcane spells that you've cast, and those butterflies are still hanging around, by the way. Although one cast you made, sorry, and Various, you get the feeling from this as well. Actually, I'll get you to roll an Arcana check as well, also with advantage, because where is it? Arcana. Okay. So not as good, but it still passes. Dilly, you definitely know that this place is just screaming with arcane energy. Like the whole place just feels almost static electric and to you. Like the moment you just summoned that arcane energy, you knew that something was going to happen. Then these butterflies and flowers just started floating around near you, which are still there, and you guys would see these now too. Just all different color of butterflies just flitting around within 10 feet of Dilly, and flower petals just floating around. Various, you're not as positive about what you felt, but you definitely felt something odd when you cast that spell, and I'd say you're intelligent enough to tie it into the sleepy feeling that you had and the fact that this creature also fell into a slumber. It's too much of a coincidence not to be tied. You all know about the arcane anomalies. You've been told about them. You've read it. You've been given that information from your superiors, that these arcane anomalies in this realm are random. Sometimes they're stronger than others. And when they're very, very strong, it affects all magic and all magical items. Luckily for you guys, you don't have many magical items with you, but it definitely affected your spells. Even a cantrip, a base level spell, you know, in this particular vicinity, at this moment, would be affected. 100%.
So yeah, Corporal, I think we should probably pack up and move, and I'll deal with the healing later.
Alrighty. Toby's gonna grab a biggest chunk of the tent that he can find, the rich tent.
Yep.
He's gonna bag the head.
No worries.
Into that, and he's gonna hand it to LV and say, "Hey, can you put this in one of your compartments, please?"
Affirmative.
Thank you.
So, if you wish to make a note that you are carrying the head of the Doc Noche, which is spelt really weird. Spell it phonetically if you must, because you probably won't remember how it's pronounced otherwise, but it is spelled D-O-K-H, 2 words, D-O-K-H, N-U-Z-E-G-H. But it is pronounced Doc Noche, or Doc Nuche if you want to get really technical.
After LV helps packing up, he moves over to Tolvio and he says, "Request, Corporal.
Go ahead.
During our travel, LV would like to keep ahead a few meters and practice with his distance weapons. He seems to be a little out of practice."
I'll agree to this, but as long as there's not visibly other people on the road.
Affirmative.
Don't want other people feeling threatened by our presence.
Well done. Well done.
LV will aim at trees only.
Good. I understand. Thank you.
Maybe you should add it is okay while this unit is on the road as well. Just not other civilians and other people, but the unit is fine.
Yes. What Dilly said.
Dilly remembers the kill order and wanted to just clarify that.
I agree. Good idea, Dilly.
Well done indeed.
LV will comply.
With that, you sort your shit out. You pack up the remaining of your camp, bedrolls, tents, packs. The remains of Dilly's tent is used as a makeshift bag or carry tool for the Doc Noche's head, which has been given to LV. LV has offered his tent to Dilly for future camps, as he's right, he does not need it. Which now makes I'm gonna have to make all new maps with 4 tents instead of 5. Thanks, Baz. But easy enough done. So with that, you pack up and you head out and start your travel once again. So with that, you head back out to the road. It takes about 10-15 minutes to get back to the main trade road. And you start heading north once again. LV, obviously you wish to, when there's no civilians on the road and obviously not aiming at your squad, you wish to practice with your ranged weapon. How many times are you going to shoot? How many bolts do you have?
LV currently has 30 bolts.
Okay, so depending on how many times you intend to use your weapon, whether you decide to stop and use it, which would obviously take it longer for you guys to get where you're going, or if you're going to do it while traveling, you'll have to mark off the arrows that you use.
During movement would be better, as combat scenarios call for movement. I will shoot somewhere around exactly 15 bolts.
No worries. So mark off your 15 bolts as bolts used and lost. Unless you intend to fire and then go retrieve, which we could make a roll
we would
for.
like to try and retrieve, correct. But they would not all survive, I imagine.
No. So first things first, I'll get you to roll a D6 for me.
Okie dokie then, D6. Pyong.
So you lose 3. 3 are destroyed when they hit a tree. And they obviously hit a fairly solid tree and they break on impact. So you have 12 possible retrievals. So now I'll get you to roll a D12.
D12 incoming.
You recover 10 of said arrows, losing
Nice.
only 2. That worked out quite well.
It did. Worked out well for LV.
It did indeed. So you lose only 2 of your bolts. We lose 5 total.
5
3
total,
are broken.
yeah.
3 are broken. 2 are lost, and you recover 10. Is there anything else that anyone would like to do while traveling along the road? And actually, firstly, Tolvier, what is the pace of travel for your squad? Are you just moving at just a regular riding pace, or are you trying to move quickly? I mean, you haven't been given any real time frame for this particular assignment, so the pace of travel is up to you.
I would say it'd be pretty normal. They wouldn't be rushing, being that LV's doing his archery stuff.
Okay, so say a basic trot.
Yeah, we're not really in a panic.
Yeah.
As such.
So I would say there'd be times of walking, times of trot, no galloping or canter, just keeping a basic, consistent pace throughout the first part of this day. Dilly.
Once Dilly doesn't feel any electrical kind of feeling of arcane, like the intensity that she obviously felt where they were, she'd request
Still feels the same.
Still feels the same.
Still feels the same.
So once she doesn't, she'll keep going. She won't
So
do
for the
anything
first,
until she doesn't feel it.
yeah, I'd say the first 2 or 3 hours, it remains that same with you, Varys. That it's almost like it's almost like you get a static electricity feeling, like all the hairs on your arms stand up. For Varys, it'll be a lot of hairs because he's kind of hairy, but you get that, like, again, that feeling, the hair standing up on the back of your neck. You're on edge, and you both feel that arcane presence, and it's very strong, and it's unnerving to both of you for at least the first 3 or 4 hours of this day's travel. So we'll deal with the first part of the travel. So LB's doing his, every now and again, you hear an arrow shoot off into the trees, and then he wears off the path, comes back, and occasionally comes back with an arrow, occasionally does not. Tolbeer has given you an order to keep the pace at a relatively consistent pace. You managed to do so. Is there anything you guys that you want to discuss specifically? We'll start with Tolbeer and work our way across. So Tolbeer, is there anything you want to talk about with your squad for this first part of the day?
Tolbeer doesn't really have much to say, but he would be walking LV's Clydesdale as well when he's riding his, because if LV's off his horse and he's running around collecting stuff, then Tolbeer will be watching LV's horse.
Okay. I'd say you'd use your horse to go to the area you shot and then get off to retrieve. If it struck the tree, I'd imagine he'd be on his horse and reach out and pull it out of the tree and retrieve it that way, unless it missed the tree. So I'd imagine he probably wouldn't dismount.
Wouldn't need to. No, can't sweat it.
That'd be up to LB, but I would imagine probably he wouldn't dismount unless he needed to.
Correct.
It is.
So, but duly noted anyway. So, so he wouldn't say much else. I will say that Uth has remained very quiet and has remained towards the back of the squad formation. He seems to have dropped back, and he's still present, and he still makes a comment every now and again, as only Uth could. Like occasionally, if he sees or hears something, he'll make a smart comment, but generally he's a lot quieter than usual. But he's definitely there.
Tolbeer wouldn't be saying anything, but he would be making sure that the party stays as a group and watching around.
No drama.
And if Uth got too far, sort of slide down and go, move up.
Which he would do so. He'd probably give you that, is that an order, Corporal? Kind of quip, as he tends to do.
And then he'd be like, yes, move up, orders.
No worries, so he'll do that. We'd know what LV's doing for this time. He generally wouldn't be speaking unless spoken to. Dilly, that first 2 or 3 hours, obviously still feeling uneasy, feeling that arcane presence. Is there anything in particular that you wish to talk about with anyone, or do yourself while traveling this first part of the day?
Dilly would probably be just side-eyeing Oos to make sure he's okay, because her knowing what's going on
Definitely.
means she's keeping an eye, and she's keeping an extra eye around them to make sure that he's not, like, they're not going to be ambushed or anything like that, but more looking on anyone attacking Oos.
Yep.
And she'd be commenting to Various about the arcane energy and going, can you feel that? And she'll be doing the whole, feel that you would get from something not being right.
Would you say that Dilly is intentionally looking around to see who else is on the road?
Very
as
much
well?
so.
Okay, I'll get you to roll a perception check for me.
I haven't got my sheet.
Yeah, just roll the physical dice, it's fine.
Yeah, roll a physical dice. Roll a physical dice. She sees shit. I'm pretty certain she sees shit. Yeah, she does. It's as a 8, she sees shit.
Yeah, I mean, other than the usual travellers on the road, no one stands out. We'll say that no one stands out to Dilly as a possible threat, or even as someone that is most people are nondescript. Nothing really stands out or holds Dilly's attention for too long. Her eyes will sort of dart back to Uth every now and again, and as you say, on occasion you'll sort of talk to Avaris about this feeling that you're having, as you both will be feeling it and sharing it at this point. And saying that, Various, same question for you. Anything in particular you want to do or say to anyone, but you'd also have time to respond to Dilly's question as well.
Yeah, so he'd be keeping an eye on Uth as well, but keeping out of his way, because part of him feels like the problem Uth's having is his fault.
Okay.
So he just wants to make sure he's okay without letting him know that. And then he'd talk to Dilly about it. Yeah, it's weird. And I've got some notes, and he grabs his book out and he's like, it feels like whenever we sort of reach out to whatever it is we're reaching out to magically, there's some sort of like backlash, and it feels like every time we do, maybe magic is fracturing more and more in the stand. It's not broken, and it'll be fascinating to see what happens if it ever just breaks. Will it just stop, or will something really awful and terrible happen? I mean, both are very exciting prospects, but I don't think it's going to get better before it gets worse.
That's a interesting way to put that, Various. And something I hadn't exactly kind of... And she'll get out her notebook while holding on to the thing and trying to write and doing the whole bumpy thing and write down exactly what he wrote, that whole backlash, as she's going like this with her little pony.
No worries. So Dilly, that is what you hear in the distance. Rolling thunder. No rain. You look, as you hear it, or all of you would hear it, but Dilly in particular takes notice. You look to the direction you hear it, and it's from the northeast over towards the Howling Mountains, and these darkened clouds over the mountains, and the sound of thunder is heard quite clear, but no rain. Various. I'll get you to make a wisdom save for me. Well, actually, not a wisdom save. Let's say a history. We'll make it a history check. Dilly, that sound, although usually quite comforting for you, today not so much. There's something about it seems off. A 6. Not great, but just talking about these arcane things, whatever's going on in Paradym, triggers a memory, if you will. anew. That day in the Fey realm, the day you first heard that voice calling you to Paradym. Very familiar feeling. Can't remember the words exactly. Kind of hazy at this point. Maybe whatever this is interfering with what you remember. But it's very, very familiar, the feeling you're having right now. Right.
He sort of makes a note of it. That'll be it.
No worries. And I think that's about time. We'll take a short break. I know Nutty was milling around here before, so I'm sure she's wanting to make a coffee. So coffee time, guys. We'll be right back. Give us a few minutes. Coffee, toilet, do what you need to do. And we'll see you back here in a moment. Bye-bye. And welcome back, everybody. We are back. Good to see you in Vancouver. Thank you so much. And Drax for the resub as well. I think I mentioned that when we got it, but I thought I'd mention it now that we're actually not playing. So, glad to see everyone here. Hope you're enjoying the show. We'll get right into it because we are going to be finishing up a little earlier than usual. But, so we're now about halfway through your second day of travel, heading towards Gatton, and off to find a village by the name of Sterin. Now, it has been marked on your map, Tolver, so you do know exactly where it is. You've probably heard of it. I don't know that Tolver has probably been to the village of Sterin. You've probably passed it. You may have been there to get supplies on occasion over the time that you've lived in this area. It is located between the Howling Mountains and Gatton in the forestry, also kind of on the shores of the lake, Lake Gatton as well. So, as I say, you've probably been around it. You probably maybe stopped there once or twice over the time for supplies if you absolutely needed to be. But it's not a place that you would have visited frequently, I would imagine. So you know where you're headed. Now, I've got to do a quick roll for the second half of our day. Dilly, you were saying that you specifically were trying to wait to get a feel whether this uneasy feeling would pass, and it appears that it's not. It's the same. That same with you, Varys. That uneasy feeling, this weird arcane energy, is sticking with you. It seems this day.
Corporal, I won't be able to use a healing potion. Doesn't feel right to use any kind of magical means. So
you would be correct. Yes, I didn't. I was thinking, actually no, a potion you'd be okay with. It's alchemical. It's not inherently magical.
She still wouldn't feel comfortable with it either.
Cool.
So, do you mind if we get as quick as we can to the next campsite, please? LV, if you wouldn't mind, can we move along faster? If that's alright with you, Corporal. I'm not feeling good about this at all.
Alright, we can pick up the pace if you feel we need to.
Please.
Bear in mind, you can also take a short rest and use your hit dice to heal. You do not need to stop for a long
that was
rest.
what she was wondering whether she would do or not, but
Your choice.
at this point, either that or we take a short rest.
Completely up to you guys.
I will leave it to the corporal, since he's in charge.
You're obviously not looking very happy, so do you want to take a short break and LV can play with his arrows, and half an hour or so we'll get back on the road. We'll feed and water the horses. Get back on the
LV
road.
can stand watch if you prefer.
Yeah.
We're on the main road, so
Yeah, so
I think we should be
essentially you
alright.
can pull off this, just pull off to the side of the main road. You can stay inside of the road. It's not like you're setting up camp. You're just taking a small break. It has to be up to an hour and able to use hit die. But so you order your squad to dismount, tie your horses up to near a tree. You use your water skins to water the horses. You do whatever you need to do. If you want to eat and drink, that's up to you guys. You probably don't need to until the evening. What else are you going to do?
LV, do you feel like that practice on the road helped you a bit? Because I haven't hit anything with this bow.
Yes, practice helps me get my targeting sensors back in line. Sometimes they come out of alignment while bumping or riding or falling.
I don't know that I have any targeting sensors.
LV can clearly see your eyes. They are your targeting sensors.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that would be how it would work. And maybe I should practice too if there's not anyone around.
All right.
That'd
Well,
get spooked.
LV and Burris, why don't you just go over there and set up a little target range? Dilly, relax, and I'll watch the camp, watch the area, and Toby is going to lay his pack down, spread his wings, and he's going to fly into the air about, I don't know, 40 feet above the camp and fly around in a circle,
Okay.
effectively looking at the area.
No
I'm
worries.
just gonna
First thing first, as you take off, as you unfurl your wings and flap your wings and take off, you feel eyes on you. There's a few people on the road. It's not a usual sight to see a dragon, anything,
Yeah.
just sort of take off and fly from the road. So you get a feel of eyes on you, and you sort of sweep around. You see a few people sort of looking up and pointing. You guys on the ground would hear, "Wow, look at that! You don't see that every day. Why is he doing that?" But that sort of thing is something people don't normally see. So you do that, and you start to circle. What are you specifically looking for?
Just look through the trees, see if there's anything sort of there. It's not too worried about what's on the road.
Okay,
Just
so you're
look for
looking
wild
for
animals.
potential dangers, perhaps,
Yeah.
like animals, other people. Okay, easy enough. I'll get you to roll a perception roll for me, which you should be able to do from either your HUD or your sheet. Probably not your HUD because you don't have the token on you, but from your sheet, definitely. 14, not bad, not bad. So at the 14, you do a quick circle of your squad's resting place for the moment. Bear in mind, you guys, you do have advantages for those that haven't used them yet, and you have to use them before the end of the session or you'll lose it. You see a few animals, like your keen eye is pretty good. You spot a bear maybe 200-300 feet from where you guys have stopped. Doesn't seem overly interested in the road. In fact, probably it looks like it's moving away from the road. You also spy a small group of what could be maybe deer or elk or something similar, a similar style of creature just moving to the north. The trees are kind of thick in some places, so you're not entirely sure what else is sort of there, but there's definitely wild animals around. Don't see any people at this point that you can notice anyway. The road looks relatively not busy, but there's people sort of moving backwards and forwards, carts and other horses and such. But that's about all you get. No sense of danger. Back to the ground. Dilly, you're able to stop, get off your horse, rest your legs, sort of you sit yourself down, checking over your wound. It's okay. It hurts definitely. There's definitely pain. It was a large wound. Like you look at your sort of the clothing and it's shredded. Whatever it's, you're gonna have to stitch it up later. It's pretty well fucked. You're talking 3 or 4 big claws, 4 or 5 inch bony claws protruding from these sort of large, long fingers. So, what is your intention? Just to sit here and rest and try and mend with a bandage or whatever? You gonna roll a hit die?
So I'm gonna get a bandage and just kind of tie it up so it's like stiff.
So you
I'll
can roll up
if it
to
does.
your maximum hit die, of course. I believe you are level 3, so you have 3 hit die that you can use to heal.
I'm just going to roll 1 because a 6 will get me up to max.
No worries. So 4 points of healing. Nice.
Yep, and I will take that.
I will mark it
Oh,
on your...
but it's a +1.
No, your hit die is just a hit die. You don't get
No, I
any...
clicked the hit dice thing there, that's all. why I asked.
Oh, so it's adding a +1. That
Yeah,
might-
because I did temp.
Okay, that's cool. If it's adding a
Okay.
+1, it's adding a +1. You are fully healed.
I think it adds a constitution.
Possibly Constitution
Bonus.
modifier as well. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, because I did it from the sheet, so I thought, oh,
It is, yeah, it's added your con mod. That's all good. If the sheet did it, the sheet did it. It is supposed to be there. So you're now feeling much better.
yeah.
Much better. You're going to have a nasty scar, but scars don't really hurt anyone. I mean, chicks dig scars, don't they? I mean, you never know. Guys probably do too. Who knows? Anywho, Varys, what are you doing for this hour? I believe you took no damage, so you're okay.
He's gonna do some practice with his longbow.
Okay, how many shots are you going to take over this hour?
10.
10 shots. So I will get you firstly to roll a d4 for me, please. This is for arrows that will break. You break 3, leaving you with 7. So I'll get you to roll a d8.
Uh, 6. Yep.
And you recover 5. So you break 3 and you lose 2. You recover 5 of your arrows. But
Should I have shot at like moving things, or you think trees? I mean, trees don't move too much, but our enemies tend to move. LV, what?
Affirmative. Enemies move. Trees do not. Enemies also kill back.
Yeah, I kind of like that about trees, although there were some pretty strange trees in the Feywild.
Never mind.
so Varys, out of those 10 shots, by that calculation with what we've just done there, 7 hit. So it's pretty good odds. You lost 8 hits. Sorry, you lost 2, but you 8 out of 10 shots hit. Not exactly where you were aiming some of the time. Some of the time they did, but not always. But you definitely hit a tree. But 2 you missed, definitely.
It wasn't too bad, I think.
Does Private Various want a moving target?
I suppose that would probably be beneficial. Oh,
Would you like to play a game?
a game?
Affirmative.
Games can be educational, yeah.
Correct. In the Elimination Legion, we used to play games for targeting practice. You move, and I move in a circular motion. Distance weapons out, around about 30 feet apart. As we continue in a circular motion, we shoot at each other. Scores hits in the shoulders. The first to 5.
So you're going to shoot at me, and I'm going to shoot at you?
That is the game.
Sounds like a very painful game.
This unit does not feel pain.
Yeah, well, I could tell you for a fact that I do. So maybe next time, like I'll work on static targets and then like, move up to like
Oh, come on.
shooting my friend.
Maybe
I mean, it's
LV leans down to the ground and looks for a thick branch.
Yep.
Just nothing too big, and he says, "How about I throw this instead?"
I mean, yeah, all right.
I throw it. you shoot at it.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds even more difficult than hitting you, to be honest. Like, a lot more skill.
I will throw it slowly. LV looks around to make sure he is not throwing it anywhere near his leader, that is Corporal, that is flying around in the sky.
No worries. He's 40 feet up, and I don't think you could throw it. I mean, you might be able to throw it that high, but I doubt it.
Probably true. I'm not that strong. LV just sort of tosses it up into the air, spinning it end over end to try and sort of keep it, low enough. He looks at Various and says, "Ready, set, fire."
Okay, Various, roll a d20 and add your modifier to hit. Which I think for you is... Where are we? Various.
It's my...
It's your dex modifier, I think.
Dex.
So plus 1. d20 plus 1.
So I'm just gonna roll it.
Yes, yeah, so roll it custom, or you can roll to hit.
Nope.
6. Goes extremely wide. As he throws it up, you go, and you fire, and it's gone. So you mark off another arrow. That arrow's gone. If you hit it, you might get the arrow back, but on a miss, you'll lose it. And you hear behind you a bit of a snigger as Uth is sort of sitting down against his pack and watching this transpire, and just sniggers at what's going on.
Would you like to play again?
And then also look at the amount of arrows I have left, and I'm like, yeah, one more.
All right.
Once again, d20 plus 1.
Set. Fire.
Oh, that was so close to being all right. 9.
Close. It was very close, but it misses just. And then you hear thunk, and the log falls across the ground with an arrow sticking out of it. You turn around, looking, and Uth's just sitting there, lying on his pack with his crossbow. Might want to get one of these.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, and you're just like lying there, and you just felt you had to. Just. Thank you, Uth. It's always a pleasure. Fuck yeah,
Various, you are learning and getting better.
And you get struck in the back of the head with a small pebble.
Just sort of grits his teeth and ignores that. He doesn't even look back. He's like, you're giving the satisfaction of fucking movement.
I've got to get some Uthness out there, don't I? Cheers for the biddies here. Varys shoots an arrow into the air. Where does it land? Ouch! Indeed. Actually, speaking of which, roll a d6 for me, Varys, because you did shoot an arrow into the air with your corporal flying around. 2 arrows, in fact.
I did say that LV ensured when he threw it up, he was away from the...
That's fine, but the first arrow specifically went nowhere near the target. So
that's fair.
What we get? 3. You're lucky, Tolvier. You probably see it. In fact, you see this arrow come out of the trees from beneath you, probably 10 or so feet from you.
Can I try and catch it?
Yeah, I mean, you're 10 feet away. Probably not.
Okay, good.
If it was right next to you, I could probably definitely give you that shot. Grim with an inspiration die as well from Grapara on the chat. Thank you very much.
Private Various, one more time. It got closer that time.
Yeah, I'm feeling inspired. I mean, if Uth can do it, like, humans don't seem to have any special qualities. Like, keep expecting something to come up, but he's pretty boring as far as creatures go. I think I can.
Sorry.
Go for it.
DM, when Various said fuckhead under his breath, body language, voice, do you think LV would have picked up on that?
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Wait, you don't want me to roll a check?
No, I think LV is. Well, actually, you tell me, because you know, LV's demeanor. Like, he's kind of regimented, and his personality. He doesn't really have a personality, so at this point. So you tell me whether. I mean, it was definitely obvious. It would have been obvious to a human standing close enough to him, or a humanoid, someone else. If they'd heard that, they would have realised what it was all about.
I'm going to roll insight just because I feel like that's the only way I can tell. I don't know.
15? I would say so, definitely.
All right.
You would definitely
Elvis
understand what it meant, whether what you do with it is up to you.
Varys wouldn't have hidden it too much either. I can't remember who told him that that's what Uth is. That he's a fuckhead.
That was
and that's why he
Stormhammer, I
calls him
believe.
that. Yeah, that's why he calls him that. He doesn't necessarily think it's overly offensive either.
You see, blatantly, LV just looks over to Uth, looks back to Various, picks up the log and goes, ready, aim,
I know what's coming.
fire, and he throws the log right, pretty much so it's just going to spin just above Uth's head.
Okay, Various, roll a d20 plus 1, please.
Alright, am I allowed to use my inspiration?
You can.
Cool.
You
So
can
I have a
indeed. That's what it's there for.
and a
To add a d10
D10
as well. I
13.
I set the AC at 10, so that was my intention from the start. So you strike it, not 100% true. Strike someone in and spins it, which drops it slightly as well, and it barely misses Uth, like barely. He makes a bit of a dodge out of the way and then shoots a look over towards you guys, because he'd sort of moved back a little bit out of earshot, so he didn't hear what Varys had said, and he's looking directly at you, LV, knowing that you were throwing the log, and he gives you this look, and he doesn't say anything. He goes to, and then he thinks better of it.
LV looks to Various and says, well done, Private. You are similar to the 101 model. When you get angry, you get accurate.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Sometimes imagining someone you don't like so much helps.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, I don't dislike Uth. I like Uth.
I don't like you very much.
Yeah, that.
This one will tend to P1C and ensure she is doing better. And LV heads over to Dilly.
It sort of says again, sort of not loud, but loud enough for you to hear. I mean, I didn't like it. Just fucking annoying.
You boys have fun.
This one is not a boy. Believe Various had fun, yes. How are you?
Better. Annoyed. It's tough, but better.
Did Uth annoy you?
No. Annoyance at my own limitations.
Happening. Oh, there we go.
Would you like to practice shooting?
It's not about the shooting. It's about not thinking in the moment and remembering that we were in that place. The last time we encountered one of those, you were not there then. Those things go for magic users. Violently. As you can tell. And part of my tent is in you.
Affirmative.
So, I'm annoyed at myself for not remembering that and not feeling the air. But yeah. Can you not feel it? The air and how static and uncomfortable it is.
LV raises his hands to the air and sort of feels around.
Does LV at this current time, LV has no spells at all, does he? Like he has nothing arcane about him.
Correct. No arcana ability at all.
But he is potentially made from the arcane as well.
Created through magic originally,
Yeah,
correct.
so I will get LV to roll another insight check for me. As he's sort of trying to reach out and feel for something. You feel something. Like it's weird because, I mean, you're expecting to feel like an electrical charge hearing the word static. But you don't feel it in your hand. You feel it in your core. That arcane core that keeps you who you are, keeps you being. I now need you to make a wisdom save for me.
Wisdom save. As he's making this, he says, there does seem to be energy within the air. Wisdom save. There it is. Boom.
For a moment, you would register what LV would denote as pain. But for a split moment. And then it's gone. And again, right at the core. Right at that arcane energy that runs your being, or keeps you being, for want of a better term. And then it's gone.
0, 1, 1, 1.
LV,
Yes, P1C. I detected something, correct.
I don't like it. And do I still hear bits of the thunder?
It seems to have dissipated. The dark cloud still hangs over the Howling Mountains, but the thunder seems to have stopped. For now.
You know about religions, LV. Not necessarily what they are and all that kind of stuff. Like, do you follow religion, LV?
Negative.
LV would have a detailed list of the dragon cult religions of the realm that once were, probably not so much the current ones, but he'd know what religion is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, knows what it is,
yeah,
but doesn't follow one.
Doesn't follow one. He has an understanding of what it is, and the ones that he knows are the ones that he was chosen to target and destroy.
So the whole... I'm not from this plane. I don't know if you know that or not. I'm from another plane. Sort of like Various, but not quite like Various. I don't know how I got here, but I think he does, but I'm not sure. I have to ask him that one. Anyway, I follow the god called Kaki, and he's a thunder god. Storm, knowledge, everything like that. Be good for Various, actually, the whole knowledge thing. But he comes to me through thunder, and I hear him through storms and lightning and thunder, hence why a lot of my spells have that. But that thunder didn't sound right to me. And it didn't comfort me like thunder normally does. And then this crackle in the air and this feeling and sensation of not feeling right with the arcane energy. It's like it's coming through me. It feels like pain, but not pain, and it's not right. I can only call it as like a static. Like you're trying to hear something through a wall, but you're getting a different kind of pitch, but you're not getting the right one that you want. Yeah, like that. I don't like that.
Only you hear that, Dilly. No one else.
Is that...
This unit hears nothing.
Is it a comfort or non-comfort?
It's weird.
In other words, it's weird.
It's weird. It's kind of both, but it's strange. It's almost not natural. But only you hear that.
You didn't hear that?
Negative.
Oh God. Can you check my wound and make sure that there's no poison in my wound and I'm not going crazy, please, LV? And she'll lift up the bandage.
Affirmative. This one. We'll check your wound.
Roll a medicine
Thank
check,
you.
LB.
Oh,
Nice. Nope, not nice.
Nope.
9.
no.
As
I'm
far as you're
scared.
aware, LV, it looks fine. It's healing. You can't see anything that you would determine as poison.
This one detects no poison. Healing looks to be normal for your type.
Thank you, LV. How are you doing?
This one is running at about 80% capacity.
You're still not quite right.
It takes time. I am an old machine.
I am an old woman. I'm sure you've got a few more 100 years on me, but being in our hundreds has its advantages, right?
Sure, we have wisdom.
Experience.
P1C.
Memory. Yes.
Should we ask Corporal Tolvier if we should hunt out what is behind this anomaly?
As much as I would love to, LV, I feel like we should stick to the mission we were given. If we divert from the course, unless it's a direct line to our original mission, we should not. It's uncomfortable. It seems to be affecting me more than you.
If this anomaly affects you and other magic users in the way that it seems to be, and he's looking at the butterflies and flowers.
Oh, they've long since gone.
They disappeared. Yeah. So he mentions them in the same way it affects you, as in the insects that were flying around your head earlier. Is this not a danger to our mission if something should go wrong?
They are risks I, as a magic user in this realm, have to take. Every magic user has to take it in this realm. We don't have to use our arcane abilities. And she'll lift up her crossbow. I may not be as good as everybody else, but I have this. I have my daggers. And for the most part, my ability magic is not affected as much, just in certain areas.
If you cannot use what your strengths are, does that not create a disability for you?
You must adapt and overcome, just like you must.
Affirmative.
Humans or flesh beings or whatever you want to call them are no different than a machine. Our muscles and our bones are very much like your framework. They need to be trained. They need to be well maintained, and if something doesn't work on it, we have to adapt and find a way to network it other ways.
Reroute programming.
Yes. So we need to do that. When I said that your only flaw was that you didn't have flaws, I think I meant it more along the lines of you can't understand people having a flaw. You can easily reroute and reprogram so it's not a flaw, for the most part. We have to work at it a little bit more. So, it's an interesting concept I haven't thought of. I'll have to work out a way to explain it better. Yeah. Did you ever have emotions, LV?
This one does not know.
Roll another wisdom save, LB. With that question, as you answer it, your system cycles again. Almost like an auto search. Auto searching, hearing the word personality or something similar that seems to trigger something. And you cycle. You cycle. You almost, and Dilly, you watch his that red targeting eye dims out and then comes back in almost a purpley blue color for a second again, and he stops almost motionless 3, 4, 5 seconds before going back into whatever motion he was doing before. So LB, as that cycles, you cycle over your personality traits and it stops and hangs for a second. You can describe what anyone would see outwardly, but it tries to reboot into that personality, and then it stops and hangs, tries again, and then stops and shuts down.
So Dilly would just see the light change in that targeting eye, like you described, sort of purpley blue, and then he'd sort of almost like a person with a twitch, he'd sort of nod down twice, nod up twice, and then both the lighting behind the eyes would dim right out and then just come back normal again.
This is the first time Dilly would have seen this.
Yes.
Because she never got to see it before.
Indeed.
With her knowledge, would she know that there's a program trying to boot or anything like that?
I
No,
don't
just
know
that
that
it looks very
Dilly,
weird.
yeah, I don't know that Dilly would have any understanding of how the inner workings of a Warforged. Definitely have an arcane knowledge, 100%.
Yeah.
The Warforged, because you've probably seen them. You've probably been around them, but you have never seen how one is created. It's obviously a long process. It's very intricate,
Yes.
high magic stuff.
So she's seen bits of a process, but never from start to finish. So
Yeah,
it's never
I would
been-
say that's probably
yeah.
about right. So she wouldn't understand what is happening, but she knows that obviously it's pretty obvious something happened.
Yeah.
But I don't think she'd have any kind of grasp on what is happening.
Never mind, LV. I think that's probably something I shouldn't ask you unless we're actually at the barracks. And has this been time for us to finish our rest?
Yeah, short rest has definitely been long enough, 100%. Tolvir, from the sky, you do see a horseman approaching from the south, traveling the same way you are, and he slows as he sees the group of soldiers. It's kind of from 40 feet up, it's kind of hard to tell who he is, but he's wearing a large, sort of dark-coloured hat. Looks like it might have a feather sticking out of it from where you are. Kind of hard to tell what sort of clothes he's wearing. He's got a dark-coloured cloak on him as well. But he slows and approaches the squad. What do you do, if anything, at this point? You guys would see this guy approaching too. You'd have more of an idea of what he looks like, and I'll describe him in a second.
Tolvir would start to descend. Is there any sort of high trees near the road?
Probably 10 or 12 feet, maybe 15 feet off the side of the road. There'd be a few high trees around, yeah.
You just sort of land into the top branches of a tree, sort of.
Okay, so you probably descended
Possibly across the road.
Yeah, you probably descended, say, down to about 18, 20 feet off the ground. And if you're looking at being up the opposite side of the road to the squad,
Yeah.
Okay, duly noted. So from that position, you would see that he's wearing, his cloak is a deep purple, almost black. And as he sort of throws his cloak over his shoulder as he goes to dismount off his horse, you can see that his tunic, his vest, is striped purple and almost it's looking off-white. Almost you almost see hints of light purple in the stripes, well, but vertical stripes. And even his pants are striped in a similar color. High boots, and as he gets off his mount, you see him reach over and he grabs a loot and slings it across his back, and strolls. He holds himself quite high, shoulders back, and strolls over towards the group. LV, you would definitely see this. Varys, you would as well. And Dilly, you're probably sort of focusing on LV for a moment until they sort of look up and look behind you, turn, and you'd see this gentleman walking over to you. And he hand flushes it. Good morrow, everybody. Great afternoon, is it not? May I share your campsite, if you could call it that, for a moment, while I rest my weary bones? It appears you're doing the same. And he takes off his hat and bows really deeply, like leg back, hand across his stomach, and he bows, almost folding himself completely in half, like it's a real deep bow. And comes back up in a flourish and puts his hat on and waits for a response.
Corporal, we appear to have a well-dressed vagrant.
Vagrant.
Is that what they call?
Pish posh. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Harrison Stevenson, famous bard and musician, teller of stories and jokes, all manner of things. Surely you've heard of me.
Okay, Corporal, it's worse than a vagrant, it's a bard.
How dare you, sir? I have you know that I'm the best bard in the land. Where are you? Are you a fae? You're a satyr, are you not? Don't see many of you here in Paradym.
That's true, but like, I feel
Surely
like I should
you
wait for the.
appreciate the arts.
Not particularly. We should wait for the corporal though, because I don't want to do anything that wouldn't be within the confines of his very direct orders. I feel like that's appropriate in this situation.
DM, does LV's dragon detection protocol pick up anything off this guy? No dragon blood?
I would say he looks human. I would say roll. What do I get you to roll for this? Actually, no, you wouldn't need to roll. This is something that you would inherently know.
Detect it at 30 feet automatically.
Yeah. You would definitely pick up on Tolvier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely ping him. I would say yes. Yes, you definitely would. You get a distinct draconic ancestry.
All right. LV will pipe up straight away with Dilly next to him. I suppose Varys not far away there, and say, he'd actually pull out his crossbow from his leg piece, pull forward and say, draconic blood detected.
Whoa. Please. Away, put your arms. I mean you no harm. I'm just a lowly, well, not lowly, highly bard. I mean, please.
Silence, creature. The corporal gives the orders here.
Where is this corporal? Corporal, wherever you are, please.
Silence, or I will shoot.
And he takes his lute and strums a tune and says, silence, you say? You need to make a wisdom save, LV. He strums a single tune on his lute.
And I'm going to use my advantage
I would use your advantage here. Dirty 20.
There we go.
Nothing seems to happen. You're quite fine. And he gives you... you got the rest of you can see a little bit of a confused look come across his face as he strums the note. He sort of looks down at his lute and says, huh.
P1C, corporal, awaiting orders.
So Tolvier, you're across the road. You would hear LV, definitely, because he's said it reasonably loud. You probably would have heard Varys as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, hearing that, Tolvier would move to the ground and walk up behind them, like, in general, walking generally, but not trying to be noticed. I mean, he's not sneaking as such, but just generally walking up behind them.
No worries. I would say that... I would say at this point he hasn't noticed you. Go back.
Good sir, did you just threaten a member of the military? Good sir, did you?
I do not believe I threatened anyone, my lady.
Did you try to put a spell on one?
Roll an insight check for me. At disadvantage, because I don't know that you would understand how this magic works.
Oh, and does that bard friend have to roll for the crazy magic?
Yes, he will. No, he doesn't. Yes, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But he just all he did was strum. All he did was strum a note on his lute. That's all you saw.
All right, I'm gonna roll another roll. Use my advantage thing to see if I can get it. Yeah, that one does because that's a 19.
If you're rolling with advantage, it'd be a straight roll. It wouldn't be with disadvantage.
Oh well, then because I rolled at disadvantage.
We'll take the 19. I'll take the 19.
That's all right. I got a 10 as the high one from the last one, so we can take the 10 when I don't know what that is. What was it again? Insight?
It's just an insight check, yeah.
12. 12. We took the 10.
You're not 100% sure that he's done something, but you're pretty certain. Like, so the question will stand. You're pretty sure. He will, just 1 second, he does have to roll on the... Okay. He, again, simply says he's going to roll a quick deception roll here too. You don't trust him, Dilly. Something about Bards you don't trust anyway, I would imagine. But Bards seem to be untrustworthy in this land and in this particular community as well. But he seems less trustworthy. He didn't seem like he was trying to harm anybody, but he definitely was up to something. Tolbir, you are walking up behind him. What are your intentions?
Tolbir is going to walk literally up to him and just basically stick his arm over his shoulder, so basically around his neck, and say, "Good afternoon, sir."
Oh, good afternoon. Are you the corporal that everyone is talking about?
I am indeed.
He doesn't seem intimidated by you at all. He seems relaxed. I see you are part of the militia, and answering the lady's question, I did not threaten anyone, nor do I intend to. I was simply asking to share your space for a moment while I rested, and this thing pointed a weapon at me. Not something I'm accustomed to. I was merely, if anything, defending myself. Well, as you would do the same if someone pointed a weapon at you, I'm sure.
Not accustomed, my ass.
Relax. We just had a rough day. You're welcome to join us for a quick rest. We're not far from moving on.
A rough day, you say? Maybe a song, a story, a joke may have you on your travels a much better afternoon.
I mean you no offence, but it's not really my sort of thing.
Story of Croesus the Insane, perhaps. Lions of Valand and their great achievements.
Good sir, do you think, and she'll tap to her little dragon thing, that we wouldn't have knowledge and stories of our own?
Oh, but you've never heard the story the way I've told the story. I always thought the military were friendly, kind folk, here to help people, but clearly I'm mistaken. I shall be on my way and leave you, and I cost you no more. And he sort of turns almost like a pirouette on his heels and starts walking away.
Good sir, if I may ask you, what was your name again, for future reference?
Harris Stevenson is the name, do not forget it. Although I have no desire to meet the military again. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. And he mounts up on his horse and rides away.
And Tolbir calls out, Have a good day, sir.
I passed out for a bit. What did he want?
I think he was planning on being entertaining, perhaps. I do like a story. Story's alright. As long as they're not musical.
This one detected magical blood of the dragon type.
Magical blood of the dragon type.
That was meant to come out as just dragon blood.
Oh, dragon
Magical blood of the dragon type. Awesome.
I guess it still stands, right?
Oh, man.
Oh, so he's probably right.
Bards treated so harshly around here. I don't know.
I don't know. I vaguely went into like this state of, I didn't really hear him for a moment, and then I saw him strum, and it just felt off, like magical essence again. Didn't feel right.
The one thing you did notice, Tolby, is as he was leaving, that he got onto his horse. Actually, before he got onto his horse, you all would have noticed this. He moved very, very quickly, like double speed. He was walking, but he was moving quickly as he got to his horse. And even you see him as he gets to the horse, he stopped and sort of looked around and confused look on his face, got on his horse and travelled onwards at a regular pace once he was on his horse.
I suggest we pack up and move on, good sirs. Mason Stevenson, right.
Harris Stevenson was his name.
Never heard of him.
The
famous four-stringed lute player from Belond. Everybody's heard of him.
Jilly's not from Belond.
No, she has spent time there. You'd actually know the name. Anyone who's been in Belond for more than a week will know that name. He is well known around Belond.
Mm-hmm.
Tolby probably wouldn't then.
No, Tolby probably wouldn't. LV definitely wouldn't. Various probably would have if he'd spent a little bit of time
Baz
in
knows
Belond.
the name.
Yeah, Baz knows the name. Uth definitely knows the name.
Jilly's not from that area. She came the minute she got into town.
How long did she spend in Belond?
One day.
One day? Okay, so you probably wouldn't then.
No, that's why I said she wouldn't have heard of him. So.
Various may have or may not. Well, I'll leave it up to you.
I did frequent some bars, so probably.
I mean, you may not have gotten his name, but you've probably. I mean, you switch off the moment a bard starts talking anyway. So your reaction was exactly what I expected. It was great. Uth would have been the same. Uth would have just been rolling his eyes, thinking, "Oh fuck, a bard."
Oh god, bards really don't get a good rap.
I mean, no offense, guys, but if we meet a civilian or vagrant, we need to appear to be respectful. I didn't see what he did to cause you to take arms against him, but we need to not be like that.
Affirmative.
Apologies,
Even a bard.
Caution protocols dropped.
Apologies, Corporal. I zoned out for a moment and didn't see it until I saw the reaction. Must be feeling off. Arcane enemy. Must be weird.
It's starting to diminish now. Like, it seems less irritating. But it's only just started to sort of, that edge is just starting to come off it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we'll call tonight's session. Before you remount your horses and head north again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on another Sunday evening for Paradym 2 Shadows Embrace. Thank you, players, for joining us. Cheers, Trash, for popping in briefly. Just to let everyone know, Trash is having some stuff going on at home, so that's why he wasn't here tonight. He may not be here next Wednesday. If you do know him, you'll know what's going on, and reach out to him, say good day, wish him all the best in that situation. But we're all thinking it'll be trash. Definitely let us know how things go when you get a chance, and just let me know about Wednesday so we can sort that out. So, without any further ado, we'll rip over our players here, get some moments. We'll start with LV tonight. A moment or two, either from yourself or from other players or from the whole night, whatever. Pick a moment or four. Chat, you do the same. If you got a moment, chuck it in the chat, let us know, and we'll read it out.
As soon as you said Harris Stevenson, the Bard, I was like, oh, yes.
I knew you'd pick it straight away.
But I was reading my character sheet at the time, and I'd realised about 5 minutes earlier that, I forgot I could detect Dragon Blood, so I asked that. But for me, the funniest thing today was the Various was like, and it was pretty much just then too, he was like, oh, worse than a vagrant, a bard.
Yes, that was kind of what I expected from Various. A little more hostile than I expected. I thought it would be less hostile than that, but that was good.
That's it for me.
Speaking of Various, we'll move on.
It was a good session, but I have to say, Blood of the Dragon type.
Magic Blood of the Dragon type.
Magic Blood of the Dragon type.
You're going to have to keep
he
it
really
up
is balked. It's that personality glitch.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It makes sense anyway, right? If they've got
magic
dragon blood for their magic, it's
yeah, potentially. Anything else, Grim?
Nah, that'll do for me.
Mina, Miss Dilly.
One was the timing on my actual computer crashing right when the Bard came in. That was just fantastic. Like, I'll just use Arcane and I kind of zoned out. That'll do. As I'm trying to log in. But I also like the fuckhead comment from Grim. And all I could think of is if Dilly had heard that, she would have gone, oh, excellent use of being remembering. Because he asked everyone what that meant.
He did, indeed. I remember that.
So,
anything else, Dilly?
No, that would be it. So.
Mr. Drax, Tolver.
I've got a few.
Le Corporal.
I've got a few. Varys' story of his uncle dying in pool of his own puke. LV saying that Varys' eyes were his targeting sensors.
Yes, that was good.
I like that.
That was well done.
LV offering Varys to be a moving target, and I was just looking at Mina's picture, and it so looked like she's face palming. She's like, oh.
I had it all set up, ready to go. I had the tokens up there. I was ready for you guys to start shooting each other, and it didn't happen. I was so disappointed. That would have been so much fun.
One more saying that Dilly's saying, pass my tenders and you to LV. That cracked me up.
Well, technically it is. Well, not half of it, but there is some of it inside LV right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. The Magic Blood of the Dragon type definitely got me as well. But yes, everyone's RP tonight was really good. The combat, you guys did very well in the combat. I was scared for Dilly. I really was. Because I knew it was going to, obviously knowing the creature, I knew exactly who it was going to go for, knowing that she had cast Detect Magic. I was hoping I would roll low on that, and you guys handled that so well. The Wild Magic saved your asses in that situation, because Varys' casting of Zephyr Strike on himself tripped a Wild Magic event, and I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was a... When I find it, it's up here somewhere. It would basically cause them to go to sleep anyway. So, yeah, you and all within 20 feet of you must make a con save of a DC 16 or fall into a deep magical sleep for 1 minute. All affected may take the save again at the end of their turn. So his con wasn't great, which is why he failed on the second roll as well. And luckily, the only people really affected was Oath, Various, and the creature. Everyone else was just outside it. Oath passed with a 19. Various only passed because of his advantage, and the creature failed. So it worked out that was your saving grace. Otherwise, that fight could have been way, way different. but getting the advantages and be able to kill it quickly was definitely the way to go with that creature. Now you have a Doc Doche head in your bag, which could get smelly over time. So various LV might start to smell kind of funky in the next day or so.
LV can't smell a thing.
And he can't smell anything, so it's going to get...
That's how he'll develop character.
It's going to be interesting, to say the
Chili's
least.
probably going to pick a whole heap of flowers and say, you might want to hold these, you might want to hold these, you might want to hold these.
But yes, so, and again, you know, Harris Stevenson was something I pulled out my butt in the moment because I thought it would be funny. So it worked out really well. I did not expect that kind of response, and the dragon blood thing, again, that was something I decided in the moment. Yes, he's got dragon blood, just to see what the reaction was, and it was perfect. It was great. So anyway, guys, that's us for another week. I will see you guys back tomorrow with some map stuff. Of course, we're carrying on. I think we're doing another Dragon Heist map, starting another Dragon Heist map this week. So I did finish off the Nomengard map last. I finished off the shadows and stuff last night, so that's now complete. So it'll be a Dragon Heist map. On the 1st of October, some more maps will be available for subs in the Gilded. I'll be adding some more to the Dragon Heist folder, so if you are looking at collecting those, if you're a sub in the Gilded, there'll be another map or two added to the Dragon Heist folder on the 1st, and another random map added to the Silver Tier folder, Silver Tier section as well. And obviously, once those maps are completed, they'll be available for sale as a full pack. So, raid time. Baz, if you need to take off, because I know you got a seriously early start, thank you very much, sir, and I will catch you when I catch you.
Thanks, everybody.
Probably catch you Friday, probably not Friday, because you'll be at work when we head down, but I'll catch up at some stage anyway, dude.
No, all good, man. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Catch, man. Raiding. Who are we going to raid? Who shall we raid? Who's online, guys? Let me know who's online if my computer's really slow. Or my streaming one is. Here we go. So we've got Valiant Odyssey is on. We have Stormy Dragon Tavern, Aussie Devfro, obviously Josie Pose and all them. I think we raided them last time. What's Valiant up to? So Valiant Odyssey has purchased one of my map packs, and they're also running Lost Mines of Findelva, which is what they're running tonight, which is cool. And they're in the same place we're in. That's a little bit further in. This is cool. So we're going to raid these guys. Bear with me one moment. We are going to raid Valiant Odyssey. And make sure you let them know where you come from. Hang out with them a bit. They are playing Lost Mines of Findelva. They are in the Red Brand hideout, same as where our crew is at the moment. They are a little bit further through than our current crew, but go hang out with them, and we will see you guys tomorrow night for some map making. See you next time.